Hello again. Welcome to another video. After beating Minecraft, I decided I didn't receive enough mental trauma, so I decided to try a game with a more realistic take on survival, barring the creatures straight out of my darkest nightmares. I was hoping to make this whole playthrough one episode, but with college, I decided making this multiple parts would be the best way to get more videos out quicker. I hope you enjoy my multiple deaths to creatures that will haunt my dreams and homicidal wildlife. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider hitting that subscribe button. Without further ado, on to the video. Before loading into my new world, I needed to make a character and choose a class. I was going to make Shrek but couldn't find a color I liked, so after choosing the Hunter class so I can make bows, I made what I can only describe as a moldy piece of lettuce. I loaded in and took stock of my surroundings. There was quite a bit of water nearby, along with some trees. I got to work napping some basic flint tools and set out, grabbing some berries, wood, and some cattails along the way. After some traveling, I came across a decent sized field. Take note of what it looks like now, because an incident made this field unrecognizable. I gathered some nearby red clay and decided to pick a spot for my house. I didn't have the materials to do anything fancy, but I was able to make a decent sized dugout, accidentally breaking into a cave while digging it. After placing a door that would later prove to be one of the biggest pieces of crap I've ever seen, the sun started to set. But I was able to make a cooking pot and bowl, which I decided to put in a pit kiln before I went into the house for the night. However, I severely underestimated how flammable a grass was, which would cause what I only refer to now as the incident. It's age. Well, no. Is it bronze or copper? Whoops. After the morning came, I decided I needed some storage, so I went and grabbed some cattails to make a chest. After I made my chest, I decided to get a jump on farming by planting some vegetables I found. Making a pen with some sticks, I planted a garden. Didn't have a lot in it, but it had enough for now, and I could always gather more seeds while I was out exploring. I made a pit kiln again, out of sand this time so it wouldn't light the whole field on fire, and put in an anvil mold, a crucible, a watering can, and some ingot molds. While waiting for these to finish, I decided to establish myself a bit better, making a bed, some tool molds, and grabbing some food, which brought an end to my second day. After I got enough supplies to last a while, I decided to pan for some materials as I researched that this was a good way to get copper before you could mine. Plus, there were some valuable items you could get as well. However, I quickly realized getting copper was useless if you didn't have charcoal, so I decided to make a charcoal kiln instead. Digging a hole in the ground and cutting up enough firewood to fill the pit, I lit the fire to start making some coal. At this point, the sun started to go down, and I decided to take shelter in my house until day 4. When I woke up on day 4, I went and checked my charcoal, but it wasn't done yet. I didn't have anything better to do, so I decided to explore the area and see if there was anything interesting nearby. But I quickly decided there was other things I could be doing when a wolf almost killed me alarmingly quickly. Getting back to my base, I decided to upgrade my house and build the start of an animal pen. After deciding on an area and putting up a fence, I noticed my charcoal kiln was done. After gathering the coal, I realized I was running out of food. Luckily, a generous boar, with a little encouragement from my new bow, was willing to feed me. I fired up the pit kiln again and decided to turn in for the night, but not before learning a new reason to keep my door closed. Day 5 started out similar to day 4, deciding there was nothing better to do than explore. Choosing a different direction this time had me find another field with a trader wagon to boot. But this field wasn't burned, which is a problem I will remedy later. Going to the trader revealed that this trader was a treasure hunter, which is just the kind I need to eventually find the first dungeon of the game. Of course, since I haven't even been in the world for 10 days yet, I wasn't able to trade anything. Heading back home, feeling much more successful than my last trip, I decided to pan for materials since I would now be able to smelt copper. I was getting some materials at a decent pace, including copper, zinc, even some quartz. After taking a break for some food, I returned to pan some more until... There ain't no way in hell. Somehow I managed to hit a 1 in 2,000 chance to get a temporal gear, something I wasn't even looking for. After I stopped laughing, I decided to stop there and grab my finished tool molds. I decided to get more wood to finish my house and went for a big walnut tree so the logs would match. I quickly figured out that this tree takes forever to chop down and decided to leave it for when I had more time. After this, I grabbed some food for the night, almost got killed by a moose, remember this bastard, and turned in for the night. Day 6 rolled around and I decided to pan for some more copper so I can make my first copper tool. After a while I had enough copper and decided to make a pickaxe with it. After a display of remarkable intelligence, I made the head. While the head was cooling, I decided to finish upgrading my house, deciding to make it out of logs and thatch. After building a small part of the roof, I checked the pickaxe head and saw it was finished. I looked around in some of the caves I found in my travels, but only found some coal in them. So I decided to go home before night fell, finally making a meal, and went to bed, ending day 6. Day 7 rolled around and I started out by looking for some more thatch, but after failing to find any, I returned home. After restocking at base, I went a different direction and found some thatch. However, it still wasn't enough to finish the roof. So I had a wood ceiling so I could start building up the inside. I used some of the dirt I dug up and made a packed dirt floor, which I worked on all through the night. When morning came, I lowered my basement by 1 block, which was pretty hard to do since I was reminded I was breathing and literally everything was trying to kill you, including Lovecraftian cave demons. Once the inside looked good, I went out again to try and find some food, but found some thatch I could use on my roof instead. After placing the thatch on the roof, which still wasn't enough to finish it, I went back out to get food. Thankfully, the copper spearhead I got while panning made throwing my spear a viable method of getting food. Going home to cook a meal, I realized I never used that temporal gear to set my spawn, which I quickly used on my first floor. I decided to build a shield since I needed more copper and figured I could handle a nearby cave with a shield. The fight was difficult, but I wasn't worried. I wasn't about to get killed by some worthless little demon. Yeah, I managed to survive my first real fight and thought I was gonna win. Then a freaking moose comes off the top rope and kicks my head off. The worst part is, I never even got to eat the bastard. After making a meal and sulking, I turned in for the night, bringing me to day 9. I decided to try and get some revenge on the demons living under my house, and after dealing with some door-to-door salesmen, I set out. I figured that instead of potentially dying to a moose, I would gather some sticks and make some flint arrows. After I was satisfied, I saw something I didn't like. What the actual is that?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
However, I was quickly reminded that it is man who is made in God's image, and by some stroke of luck, the foul creature was imprisoned in the ground, where I quickly sent it back to whatever hole it crawled out from. What's wrong, buddy? Stuck in the ground? Oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a shame. Once that was dealt with, I went back to the cave, which was filled with monsters again. However, in a rare moment of neuron activation, I realized I could make a choke point in my basement. After clearing the cave in the rattiest way possible, I was rewarded with nothing. Once in the cave, I found that there was not only no copper, but there wasn't even more basic resources like coal. So I just wasted an entire hour of my life trying to enter this worthless cave. I decided to look around for a different cave, but quickly gave up when I realized that the prospecting pick was probably in the game for a reason. So I elected to return to my house, grabbing more thatch to still not finish the roof, and started to pan for copper. After a while I had quite a bit and was making good progress, but I decided to turn in when it started to get dark. Finally, I got ready to go to bed. Ready to pan for some more copper tomorrow. But y'all hear all about that in part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be continuing this run as a multiple part series, and we'll try and get another video out as soon as my college work lets up a bit. As always, if you enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.